Just found out I have a 14-year-old son. My parents immigrated here before I was born and dad worked in gardening my whole life. When I was 16, I would go to work with him and had a few regular houses we would hit every week, some in well-off neighborhoods. In one of those houses there was this really hot girl I would always flirt with and eventually hooked up a couple times with. The only thing is that she was 12 at the time. We moved and I never saw her again. That is until she pops up on my People You May Know on FB. I send her a message and ask if she remembers who I am. She responds a few days later and we spark up a good conversation and talk for a few days. I finally ask if she wants to hang, which she take me up on. When we're out we talk about our kids. I start to notice that her son looks familiar, and he's big. I ask how old he is. She says 14. My stomach drops. She tells me his name. It's my name ... Brian Moreland.
Having trouble accepting my twin as a swinger. My 33F identical twin just told me she is part of the swinger community in my hometown. She is what they call a unicorn solo bi woman, and has been posting tons of explicit content on Twitter. The whole thing makes me nauseous. For one part, I'm happy she's having fun and has found some good friends from what she shared. For another, I feel queasy thinking about her nudes being out in the open, especially because anyone could think it's me. I think this is more venting than anything. But if anyone has some suggestions as to how to cope, I'd really appreciate it.
That's disgusting. What's her Twitter handle?
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
Aida for telling my stepdaughter she can have her dead dad pay for the wedding. I may have gone too far. My now wife divorced her ex when her 3 kids were young. He was an addict. She met me a few years later and we dated for 2 years before she introduced me to her kids. 2 kids really hit it off and Kelly did not like me. Just passive-aggressive stuff, but it became much worse when her dad passed away. She did not take it well and resulted in a lot of outbursts. I wasn't living there at this time. She went into therapy, but overall it didn't seem like it helped. She threatened to run away if I married their mom. So I stayed away but continued to date their mom. Over time the 2 other kids started to stay at my place in order to get away from the drama. It was a rough time for them and we bonded even more. When Kelly was 18, the 2 of us decided to stop putting our life on hold and get married. Kelly hated this. The other kids were happy though. Every interaction I have had with her has been unpleasant and I don't not see her as one of my kids.
TIFU by using a different hairbrush. I 21F have been bringing my own hygiene products to my boyfriend's 2OM place for a while now, among that leaving a hairbrush at his place. He still lives with his mom and sister 17F. The 2 of them have a small shared box of different hairbrushes of which I don't like a single one, hence I brought my own. Now my BF had the great idea to clean his room and misplace my hairbrush, so I had to use one of the shared box. I wanted to make a high ponytail, so I brushed my hair. And as I went on to get my hair together in one place, I held the brush with my teeth for a moment, and then I tasted what I can only describe as dried human fluid. I immediately pulled it out, only to see a thin, crusty, proteiny residue on the top of the brush handle that resembles what my sussy time toys look like before I wash them. I realized what that was because I too was a teenager discovering my sexuality with phallic-shaped objects once, but not with shared hygiene items.
Tifu by playing Subway Surfers while sussy talking my GF. More or less what the title says. My GF and I have been doing long distance the last couple of months. We make sure to talk every day, have a good time, being able to still connect over distance as communication is great. However, there is one stupid habit I have, which is whenever I am on a phone call with someone I put them on speaker and instinctively open Subway Surfers. I don't know why, but I had been playing Subway Surfers since before our call, and when this situation emerged, I just kind of did not stop. Imagine me laying in bed, playing my skin flute in one hand and Subway Surfers in the other. Meanwhile, on the phone dirty talking my GF while sus touching ourselves together. At one point she stops and gets really angry and asks me if I'm seriously playing my stupid game right now. I think she could hear me tapping the screen and activating a hoverboard or something. Needless to say, this killed the mood and she went to sleep. We laughed about it the next day, but we have not had such a phone call since sadly. Aida for not pretending my girlfriend's plushies are real. My M. 27 girlfriend F. 27 has lots of plushies, about 30. Every morning, she arranges them on her bed, and every night they go from the bed to the couch, still neatly arranged. One morning she asked me to put the plushies on the bed and got upset when I didn't arrange them properly. I asked her what the big deal was since they're gonna be back on the couch at night anyway, but she got upset because she wants them to be comfortable. I'm fine with all this and used to think it was cute, but it's gotten to a point where she wants me to talk to them. She pick up a plushie and pretend it's talking to me, and expects me to play along. I'm not into it and mostly just ignore this. But recently she got annoyed at me. She asked me why I don't care about them or talk to them, and I said, you understand they're not real, right? And she got extremely upset and yelled at me for being mean and not taking her seriously. Am I the a-hole? Hired a private investigator to watch my fiancée on her girls' trip, and now I'm torn. Hey everyone, long-time lurker, first-time poster here. I never thought I'd be the one to spill my story on a confession subreddit, but here we are. To cut a long story short, my fiancée and I have been together for 5 years. Every year, she goes on this girls' only trip with her close friends. Something in my gut had been bothering me about these trips. Maybe it was the slight changes in her behavior afterward or the cryptic conversations I'd overhear. Instead of directly confronting her, I did something I'm deeply ashamed of. I hired a private investigator to watch her during her recent trip. I got back the results a few days ago, and as much as I regret violating her privacy, my suspicions were not unfounded. The pie presented evidence of her being unfaithful. It shattered my heart. Now, I'm caught in this storm of emotions. On one hand, I deeply regret snooping and not trusting her enough to talk about it. On the other, the betrayal from her side feels even more significant. I love her, but I can't see a future together anymore. How do I even approach this situation? Do I confess my snooping? Or just end things without revealing the reason? Any advice is welcome. Archived.